thank you for clicking this link. What I'm going to go through with you today is how to choose a domain name. Some of you might be wanting to get a domain name for your own blog or a business website. Some of you might want to start a new business project, or some of you might simply be investing in domain names and want to buy up that web real estate before somebody else does. So whatever your case might be, I'm going to go through some tips from Global Achievers Academy on the best ways for you to be grabbing domain names. Now, most of the questions we get in this regard are things along the lines of, is it okay to get something other than a .com? Or should I be trying to use a keyword that my customer is probably going to use in my actual domain name to help me boost my SEO? These are two very good questions. We'll actually be answering these questions and more in this short video. Also guys, I'm going to be sharing with you a bunch of free tools and resources as well as coupon codes you can use to get domain names more cheaply. And before we go through those things, I just want to answer a couple of questions here. So the first one, how do I choose a good domain name? Well, hands down, generally the best domain name to be grabbing is a .com. And if you can't grab that because it's taken and not for sale, or if it's outside of your budget, then I really encourage you to first think about, well, this piece of real estate that I'm going to own, it could potentially change the shape of my company for the long term. So there may actually be occasions where you want to splurge and grab that premium domain name for the future propagation of your business. But if that's not an option for you, then stay with me on this video, because I'm going to share with you some really creative tips that will surprise you and really open up the opportunities you have for grabbing domain names quite cheaply. And so the second level of domains that you might want to grab would have to be the .nets and the .orgs, because these two are seen as the second most professional on the internet. Of course, there are other things like .biz, .info, that kind of stuff, but these are not as professional in the eyes of most people as a .net or an .org. So that's definitely the second level. Your third option is, and we're starting to get creative now, your third option is to try to use the domain name ending piece as an actual word to finish your URL. So you might have, for example, phishing.net, and so net, might match with phishing net. So linguistically, those things connect together and have meaning. Another option you might have is, there are actually many domain name endings, such as .professional, .singles, .academy, .me, and a bunch of other stuff. So you might look at something like dating.singles, so you've got dating singles, or you've got, for example, news.today. So if you look at the list below that we've provided of the various domain names endings that you can actually get, you can really start to get creative and use those as an ending piece of your domain name. And in this way, if you match them up well, it can actually be better for you and your business than it is for you to actually get a .com. Why? Because this allows you to compact your URL and also for it to become more unique, and people will think, oh, that's pretty quirky, that's pretty intelligent, and it really helps to make your brand more memorable for people. So the fourth option then is kind of an adaptation of the third option, where the last pieces of the domain, you might actually get something like .ch or .tv or .ly or something like that, and use that to actually finish a word that's in your domain name. So if you are putting together, for example, an anti-dementia business to help people fight dementia, then you might go with something like thinking actively. And so in the ly of actively, you take that off and you let the domain finish with .ly. So you've got thinking active and then .ly, thinking actively. And when people actually see that and they read it and they can understand the linguistic meaning of it, it's like, oh, that's pretty cool. And in these cases, if you can be a little bit quirky and smart in how you're connecting stuff together, that can actually stand out and be way more memorable for people than simply grabbing a .com. Compare, for example, something like Internet Business Consulting Agency.com. Number one, it's way too long and it's really boring. So number two, because it's got a .com, it doesn't carry any real quirky kind of cool thing with it. It's just a .com. So in most cases, don't get me wrong, a .com is the best thing to be getting. But if it becomes too long and if it sounds kind of dry, it might actually be better for you in your business if you are more creative with those third and fourth options I mentioned. So another thing I'd like to point out here are a few negatives that you want to keep an eye on. So the first thing is, generally speaking, don't grab URLs with hyphens in them. Hyphens are crappy, pretty much. Also, you don't really want to do weird spelling variations, because if someone communicates your URL to somebody else via word of mouth, that person won't be able to search for it unless they know that spelling variation. So as an example, instead of spelling the word extreme, E-X-T-R-E-M-E, some people try to be quirky and spell it with X-T-R-E-M-E. So they cut off the E in the beginning, and I mean, it can sometimes be cool, but generally stuff like hyphens, really long domain names, and misspelling variations of URLs are not very cool. Also, some people try to put numbers instead of letters. So I was talking with a guy the other day who had connected, and the E in connected was actually a 3. And so I asked him, what happens when someone tries to open your URL? He goes, oh, well, sometimes we lose customers that way. And you don't really want that to be happening to you. When people are actively searching for you, you want to land those sales. So don't go for weird URLs that other people are not going to find, unless it's going to be something really short and cool and quirky, like news.today or dating.singles or thinking actively or something creative like that. So guys, that's the technical side of how to combine domain names. Just briefly about keywords. Yes, definitely guys, do try to grab domain names that include keywords. Even if you simply use that domain name to reroute people to another web page you have, they can be very valuable to have in that regard. There are types of variations that you might want to grab. For example, keyword and then maybe review or reviewed or exposed or scam or bonus or words like that. So you might have, iPhone 6 review, iPhone 6 scam, iPhone 6 bonus, something like that. So when a person is searching for iPhone 6, because your URL contains the word iPhone, it's going to show up in that keyword search, right? And then because you've got reviewed or scam or whatever, it's going to create interest. People are going to be like, what's this about? And so in the case of using something like exposed or scam or revealed or something like that, in these cases, typically what you want to be doing is you want to be providing a review and then some affiliate links or some related product links, and then you can generate some cash that way. So guys, that's a general overview today of how you can choose good domain names. Now, if you go below, you will see a bunch of free tools to help you out in choosing domain names. You'll also see a great list of the smaller 2-letter domain name endings like .ch, .tv, all this kind of stuff, so you can see what you can use to create really cool creative domain names. And also guys, here's a bonus for you. If you register, you'll be able to actually get some discount codes, so you can be getting domain names super cheaply. I believe we've actually got an offer at the moment for you to get a .com for just $3 instead of the regular 10 or 12. So guys, definitely check out the resources below, and let's do the 1, 2, 3. Let's subscribe, leave a comment below, and check out our link. So thanks for watching guys, and let's grow your online business.